I love something that you said, that everybody's welcome. Everyone's invited.
No one's going to hand you anything. So you have to accept there's going to be times you do great and times that you don't. It's okay. You just keep going. It's not such a big deal. And it really doesn't say anything about who you are.
We share that in common. It's always important to me for people to feel like they have a place to belong. I hope you feel that way with Three Sisters, that everybody is a part of this. It's not just an exclusive few. It's a larger community. A lot of negative.
For me, it is like the best seasonal depression cure.
Yes. It is hard for women to take time for themselves, or whatever it is that you're doing. If you will take care of yourself, then you have more in your reserves to do the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
It's like just putting gas in the car. You know, you've got to put it in. Welcome to the Pretty Sister Podcast. I'm your host, Callie Stoyer, and I'm so glad you are joining us today. This is a safe place for friendship, sisterhood, fun, confidence building, hopefully some tips that we share with you that will help you to be motivated, and to live your best life. So that's my hope. And I'm so glad you're here. And if you're enjoying this podcast, please feel free to leave a review, follow, and make sure that you're the first to know about our new episodes. Today, I have a very special new friend of mine that I'm so glad to have met through another friend. That's often how these sisterhoods or the friendship spreads, is that you get to meet new people. And this is Shannon Norton. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, I've loved getting to know Callie. She's a force for good in the world.
Thank you so much. Well, she's a dear friend of Kirsten, who you saw on another podcast, and you were roommates with Kirsten.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Kirsten is part of my Boston friend family. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up on a trip together on an overnight weekend, and just had that fast connection where you feel like, oh, you're just someone who I have wanted to know my whole life.
Thank you. It was fun. We could all talk about anything forever.
Yes. Sure. Yes. So I particularly thought it would be fun to share her with you, because I always am super interested in women who are pursuing their dreams and doing so with courage and fearlessness. And so I thought it was really fun when I learned that you had picked up a desire or learned about the sport of pickleball, which I know is super popular right now. It's something I've actually gotten into myself as well. And then not only did you fall in love with it, but you thought, I'm going to open up a pickleball place because we need to do more of this. So we're going to dive into that story and get some updates, because we actually haven't even talked about it for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think it's fascinating, inspiring when people chase their dreams. And we wanted to share this conversation with you. So let's go back to the beginning. I think you were on a trip and you played your first pickleball. Tell us about that.
Okay. I had been playing pickleball for a while and loved it, and went on a trip with some girls to St. George to play, where we were like, we're just going to play and not have to worry about anything else, like multiple sessions a day. It was so fun. And while I was down there, I actually had kind of another dream that someday I do. It's like, that is a bigger dream, you know, like, people are doing it now, so I can say, but I wanted like this retreat in St. George where people could just come and, like, whether it's clinics or with friends or your family, to get away for the weekend, just play pickleball, eat good food, pool, whatever, but just like a pickleball retreat, you know. Now people are doing it.
See, you can see why I love this girl. But these are the ideas that we need more of, all of the sisterhood building and friendship and relaxation and fun, because when we come together as women, I always feel like we leave stronger and
for sure, refreshed,
inspired. And adding pickleball into it, how fun is that?
Right? I know. So I came back from this and I was just telling my husband, oh, I wish we could do this, you know? And I was also telling my sister, who was had me on speakerphone, I guess, and her husband was listening, and he also loves pickleball. And he's like, so I'm actually looking into like how to be involved with pickleball. And he started telling me about this company that was going to start franchising called the Pickler. And I was like, really, I'm really curious about this. So we just started learning about it, and kind of went down that path of what this is going to look like. And, you know, there's a lot of mom and pops that kind of pop up and then don't succeed. And we really liked that Pickler is going to be a bigger national thing. And so it's backed by more resources, branding. And also they're super involved in the future of the game and youth and ways to reach out in the community. So we really liked everything that we were hearing. And my husband tried to be really skeptical, asking all the hard questions. And anyway, ultimately I was like, you need to decide if this is like a good business venture, because it could end up being really stressful. He has another job, all that kind of stuff. And he ended up feeling like, no, this is good. So currently, our first ones are opening in June in Tucson and Lehigh. So we have all of Utah County. We'll eventually have 3 in Utah County. And then the one in Tucson is actually a little bit ahead of Lehigh. And then he's got like 10 other regions that he's branched out with now, like Washington, D.C., Virginia, Houston, and I think somewhere in Florida. And he's gotten a couple like partners to like go in on it with him financially, and then they find the people in the different places. But it's funny, he's not as into like the sport and the game. He loves it, and he's learned to get better at it and play. But he's really well connected, networking, business minded, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, this would be fun. This would be fun to get just these running and just do this. So it's kind of what we're working on.
I love that. So I didn't realize before that you were doing this together with your husband so much. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
So how, especially when you're both coming at it with some different skill sets. So you are the one who loves the game, and he's got the business mind and some networks to make it happen. How is that working together as husband and wife?
It's good so far. I feel like I can tell at some points I'm like, is this going to be stressful? And I think we've both decided, as long as we're like really clarify like expectations and roles. And so he's been really sweet. Like, tell me what like the parts you're passionate about that you want to be involved. Like at first I was scheduled on every call, and I'm like, I just can't do this. Like, I still have young kids at home. And I'm not so businessy minded. But I'm very aware of the game, the community and the area, what people want, all that kind of stuff. Also youth. My son and I started the Lone Peak Pickleball Club. So we're trying to help get that going. Yeah. There's a big team trying to help get that to become a high school sanctioned sport. So I feel like, okay, there's some things I'm passionate about that I can offer to this. But I will say, like, so far he's definitely doing most of the work, he and his partner, and we're starting to hire. We've got a club coordinator who's going to be awesome, brings a great energy and skill set to the club. So we want it to be very much like high-end customer experience, like of you come, this is your pickleball family, you're welcome here, you know the program, you're invited to everything, you just feel like so good when you walk in, you're excited to be at your place, get your jam, your physical endorphins, your social connection, whether it's with friends that you already know or making new friends in the pickleball community, which hopefully everyone knows. That's like a really good vibe. Like for the most part, everyone is really nice and fun and happy with each other. You do run into some people who can be like really uppity, little maybe pickleball snobbish. Yes. But typically that tends to be as you get a little bit further down the road, and hopefully everyone kind of has their people by then, you know?
Yes. So I love something that you said, that everybody's welcome, everyone's invited. And I know from some other conversations we've had that that's a value of yours.
Yeah,
and it is
sure.
We share that in common. It's always important to me for people to feel like they have a place to belong. And that's what, I hope you feel that way with Pretty Sisters, that everybody is a part of this. It's not just an exclusive few, it's a larger community. So what are some of your thoughts on that? And how have you come to really feel passionate about that concept of inclusivity and letting people feel like they're belonged and they're wanted and we want you here?
I think, I don't know if everyone kind of has to experience the opposite to come to really appreciate that. And maybe that is part of life, where everyone has a moment in that place where you feel on the out, where you feel unincluded, uninvited, unappreciated, question your worth to other people or what they think about you. I think we all worry about it too much, but most of us have been there and know that hurts. And our family, both Dave and I both, have always just felt like, no, we are inclusive. Like everyone is invited. It's their choice if they want to come to the table, to the game night, or choose not to, But and as we get older, I think we learn to value, like we all want to put ourselves in a place where someone else is also choosing us. And so, there's times we have to make strategic choices. But I think as far as the overall inclusivity, there's a principle in the gospel of our faith that is like, the Savior says, if you'll come, you can have all of this. He invites everyone, and it's up to everybody what they want to choose and accept. And I just never want to be the person that is hurting someone, making them feel excluded.
Right.
And pickleball, I think there's so many different kinds of personalities and people, skill levels, everything. Everyone comes and kind of can find their place. Like literally, even if they know no one. I've seen it time and time again, like open play. And it's like you go away and these people have smiles on their face and they'll bounce in their step like they made some pickleball friends, And I just met someone who literally just down on her luck in every single way. It's only been 6 months, but she has like the first time in her life, like solid friends, and it branches way more than pickleball, but it began with pickleball. Mm-hmm. And it was like, she's like, how do I find my people through this one commonality, but it overarches like everything else now. That's so cool. 6 months.
It is so cool. And I agree with you because I've experienced that myself, where just last summer I started playing pickleball more regularly with a group of women. Mm-hmm. And I've watched that group grow and people come and go, but it has been approached with an idea of, anyone's welcome.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to have a way to do physical activity in everyone's competing at different levels.
Yeah.
You want to get better, but also the novice beginner is welcome to come as well. Mm-hmm. And so it is this feeling of just welcoming and the friendships that we're cultivating. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
So I love that you see that and see the fruits of this fun new sport. It's a relatively new sport. Mm-hmm. So I love that you've decided to create this club that can then spread this good opportunity to more people, to reach more people.
Yeah. And another thing that my husband and I feel really passionate about is mental health. And so we've tried to help be a part of that with the New Huntsman Institute. And we're going to have mental health Mondays. And we just want to have opportunities to bring other people into the club that maybe couldn't afford to do it on their own, like be able to play all year round and have that kind of mental health or controlled environments, different things. So to be able to bring it to, I think, different groups of people as well, and then all come there and have one thing in common. There's just something really unifying about that.
Well, and how important it is that you've discovered where you can match that need for mental health with pickleball.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing to marry together. And again, we've talked about this on the podcast a few times, just the mental health crisis that exists now and how we do need to approach it and come up with creative ways to help people get through that. And of course, we know that exercise is going to be so beneficial.
Yeah.
And then when you have the exercise and the sociality that comes with it.
And hopefully try to prevent some of the problems that come later, from maybe the lack of some of those things as well. So starting earlier to have some of those outlets and healthy habits.
Mm-hmm. And again, when you add in this sense of belonging, a place where you belong, where you feel like you are accepted and welcomed, then that has so many different side effects or benefits that spring forth from that of confidence building,
definitely
friendships, and just the way that you spend your time with other people instead of in isolation or being alone.
Yeah,
that leads to a lot of negative.
For me, it is like the best seasonal depression cure.
Yes.
Like the first winter that I started playing through the winter, just close by with basketball court floor, but it was like, oh my goodness, like I have a reason to get out of my house. And there's something about getting out of your house too in the morning, like at the start of the day, just like reminds you there's a whole world out there and there's things to do besides just in your little cocoon. And that for me is really good. Like it still gets me kind of excited to get up and get going if I can start my day with pickleball. And sometimes I feel guilty and bad that I want so much pickleball in my life. But then I've tried, like when I don't have it as much, and I'm like, I am a happier person. I'm able to give more when I've had that for myself. There's just something about it. I can't totally pin what all of it is. I think it's a lot of things, but for me personally, it's been a really healthy and positive thing in my life.
I'm glad you mentioned that because it is hard for women to take time for themselves, especially busy moms. Well, moms or not, we often, as women, are serving and nurturing the people around us who we love. And so we aren't naturally taking that time. And then we do feel guilty. We do. But everyone I talk to about this topic does always testify and say, but when you do, I show up better. I can be a better mother. I can be a better spouse. I can be a better business partner. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you will take care of yourself first, then you have more in your reserves to do the things that you need to do. It's like just putting gas in the car. You've got to put it in so you can, then you can
have the reserve. Yep. I have a sister who is serving a full-time mission right now for our church. They're mission leaders out in Washington, D.C. And she loves pickleball too. We used to gather and play every Monday for years. And she and I would get together other times during the week as well. But she moved out there. And at first she was like, I'm not really sure how much I'm going to be able to play. I mean, there's stuff going on all the time. And just recently when I talked to her, they haven't been out there a year yet. And she's like, you know what? She's like, I think I'm playing more than you. She's like, I play almost every day because it really does help me perform better through the rest of the day. It's like, it's my sanity, my unwind, my moment where it's like, I don't have to be thinking about 200 missionaries or my kids. It's just like, I can have this time. And then it's almost like a check, check, here I am to give to the rest of you. And so I do know that we feel guilty. But I think if we can learn that about ourselves, that whether it's lifting weights or playing pickleball or studying and meditating, or a combination of things, that if we do give that to ourselves, we are filling our bucket so that when the rest needs to go out, we still have some. We don't get into this crisis mode of I need to escape, as I've seen that happen to people. So I do think it's important the older we get, that's part of being wise is we need to take care of ourselves too, on the airplane, oxygen mask.
Let's come first.
Yeah.
So you saying that you, about this family, member that is also playing reminds me that you have been playing pickleball with your father legally. And so it's really it's become a family thing and for you to connect and bond. What can you share with us about that?
Every Monday, my dad has a day off and he drives up 35 minutes to come play pickleball. It used to be with me and my sister, but now it's just me. And
do you just play the two of you? Or do you
no, so we actually have a whole gym. We have 3 different gyms close by and, or it's one gym, but it has 3 courts. And so there's 12 people. And basically how it works is my dad and I are always partners and everybody else rotates in.
So you get to stay with your dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause he's like, this is my daughter type, and he gets pretty competitive.
Well, and let me just pause and say that her dad is a very special person. He's Elder Razband, and so he's a leader in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so I'm sure there's the people that are coming probably really enjoy getting to play with him.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's fun. They're doing screenshots or FaceTimes for a minute with their kids that are on missionaries and wish them a happy birthday. But yeah, it is really fun. I appreciate that he's willing to drive to come do that. He loves pickleball. And then also it's it's just fun time together. And often after we play, he'll come over for breakfast and that's just our time to chat. He knows that I love to ask him questions about everything. And we're both very into politics and current events and the gospel, all these things that we love, these little passions. And it's not necessarily everyone else is into that. And so we really like that time to just kind of catch up and talk with each other, or if there's something going on that's hard, asking him questions about that. So I really do treasure that time. A lot of times he's on a trip and can't come or something, but every Monday that he's here, that's our time. So, and as you said, a family sport too, it actually has grown so big. Every family in our extended family plays pickleball, and we had a big family vacation this summer, and it was the requirement was we had to go somewhere with courts so that we could have our daily little tournaments. And it was really fun to just swap up. We had kids out there that were 6 and up. So we love it.
That.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we can learn from that, because I think I love how your father is valuing that time with you and making that a priority because it's his day off. I'm sure he's,
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine what a busy man he is.
I know.
And would probably enjoy some rest and relaxation on his day off.
Mhm.
And this probably is fun.
It is. Yeah, it is.
It's how you frame it. But that's beautiful that he's prioritizing you and his family. How many kids are in your family?
There's 5 of us.
There's 5. So,
and I'm currently the only child in Utah.
Okay. So you get this extra special attention right now.
I do.
The bonuses of living near your parents, right?
Yep.
So how are you then modeling that now with your kids, what you've learned from your father, or how will you model that in the future?
Yeah.
Probably doing it now. You have also 5 kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are lucky to have a court in our backyard. And so that's been fun for our family. Like we just go out and do it for fun, not competitive. We do both depending on who's playing or whatever. But, I mean, in general, whether it's pickleball or not, we both love to be goofs. And we know that like, you know, as much as all the good things we're trying to pour into our kids all the time and connect in all those ways, like it's really important to have fun together and joke together and let loose. And so we love that, whether it's pickleball or we do a lot of card games at the table, movie night.
I'm a big card game girl.
Let's go. Yeah, we love it. So we have too many games.
I really think that playing together with your kids is such a critical thing to do. I believe that.
Yeah.
Because I think that through that, I mean, you're having fun. And so then they want to be with you more because you're playing and you're having fun together and you're showing them that it's, you know, just that it's good to have fun and take.
And it loosens us up.
Yes.
Like we're always
to be a different person when you're playing than when you're serious. And I love to do that with kids. So I love just this aspect of having fun together. And then I think my kids have become better friends and more able to, you know, handle themselves in social settings because I like to take credit for it because all the games I've made them play.
There you go. Yeah.
Because they're, I think, looking at it, I think my kids are fun and they know how to play. And then that helps them when they've left to college to be able to make friends. And these are skills that I just think are important to be able to connect with people and to make friends and to, you know, hold group settings and all these things that they've seen us do in their home because we've taken the time to do a lot of play together. And I'm all about education and seriousness too. And we do that as well. But I just feel passionate about a very equal or large portion of play.
Yeah. Well, and I think so much, I mean, especially the younger generation, but even us adults, we're so hijacked by our phones all the time that like, to teach them other ways to actually have fun and connect with putting those away is so valuable. My kids have been in several situations where they're like, they literally have never played this game, you know? And so even though they're like the most old school games, like Sorry or something, they're like teaching their friends and they start to see how people come out of their shell and laugh together. And so it's become kind of this fun place, you know, in our basement of just like, hey, we're just going to have this old fashioned fun time down here, which I love and I think is great.
Yeah.
Totally. And it also teaches you how to be a good loser, right? Like the more we lose, that's great. It's fine. You go right on. Like, you know, and everybody takes turns in all the different random games. And so I think it's just someone gets to feel really good for a minute and other people, you know, try again. But it normalizes that it's not such a big deal. And it really doesn't say anything about who you are.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm always saying, fail forward. And I tell my kids to fail forward, or I've said on the podcast, like, we got to be okay with failure because to get to anything, we have to start and we have to try and we're never going to start perfect. And we just have to be okay with failing. But I don't know that I ever, until you said that, really related that to the failing, like the losing in games.
Yeah.
But it's funny because my kids, when they were little, I would still win on a game. And my husband would tease me sometimes. It's like, come on, they're kids, like, let them win. I'm like, they can't, I should let them win. And I'm teaching them.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to be like, awesome, mom's good at that. I'm going to be good at that too. I'm going to get her.
I want them to be, you know, to learn how to play the game, and then they will feel proud when they win. And I was okay with them losing and having that experience. I wasn't wanting them to win at everything. And so I got teased from doing that to my younger kids. But this makes me feel better.
It's better. I think it is better. It's like everything in life. No one's going to hand you anything. So you have to accept there's going to be times you do great and times that you don't. It's okay. You just keep going. Not sorry to relate it back to pickleball, but I actually have learned a lot of mental toughness through pickleball because I've definitely gone through. I'm competitive. I want to get better. I literally, other people can apologize to me and I don't care how you're playing. I really care how I'm playing. I don't want to make dumb mistakes, but not getting in my head and just realizing if I'm having an off day or whatever, don't be embarrassed. Nobody cares. And it's just about like each point is a new point, you know? And I think we have to look at life more that way. Like each day is a new day. Each opportunity to do this is another time. Like wipe it clean, whatever you're thinking or feeling about the past, just keep going, you know? So yeah, I think those opportunities of losing are actually really valuable to our character too.
I love that. As we're starting to wrap this up, I never end a podcast, or at least I try to remember to always ask this because I'm very passionate about dreaming. And again, one of the reasons we have this conversation is because I love that you are out there accomplishing your dreams. But what do you want to say or share? Because what other dreams do you have on the horizon that because I know we should always be dreaming to have even more things. So tell us about that. What are you dreaming of?
Okay, well, first of all, I love that you asked that because I just want to say, first of all, like when we talk about our dreams, like we build it up that there's these huge, like unattainable things. And so I'm kind of like, wait, was this a dream? Like, I mean, it came to be not even that long ago. Like, and so maybe there's a good lesson in that, but like things can just kind of happen. And I also put a lot of pressure on myself of like, I mean, for years I was like, okay, if I go back to work or whatever, like it has to be something valuable, like meaningful, helping people like with their time. I'm picturing like, I'm talking primary children's, like Make-A-Wish, like things that I have felt very connected to throughout my life that I know are like so meaningful. And so I'm like, pickleball, like,
how could
like,
that possibly
I feel
a life's purpose?
Yeah, I feel guilty. I'm like, I'm not really doing anything to lift anybody up. You know what I mean?
But you are.
But then you hope that it is like what it's done for me. I'm like, actually, you know, maybe. But I'm just saying, I think we put so much pressure and framing on what our dreams should be that it's kind of cool to just consider it's okay. Maybe let's just let that go for a minute and see what naturally pursues. Like, I don't know, maybe we're the husband and wife that's doing some pickleball facilities together right now. And that's not necessarily grand. We're not building villages in Africa or, you know what I mean? But it's going to allow us and it's going to develop us to be able to do something else in the future. Like things will keep coming. And for whatever reason right now, this has been like the natural wave or go-to of what we're doing. But I know that it's going to open opportunities for hopefully something that is maybe more meaningful on a more spiritual level or whatever. We don't really know, but I think just being open to what comes our way and maybe even lessening the expectations on ourselves of what those should be. Because I hope someday I do something that's more personally meaningful to people. I think we all have so much to share. We've all been through hard things. And I think that's where we have the most like meaning and helping each other. But there's nothing pushing me in any obvious way right now of how or what to do in that way. So I think there's probably a lot of dreams ahead for all of us. And some of them we probably don't even know what they are yet. So just being open to learning what new dreams are, I think is something that I would share with people.
I love that. And I also would say to you that any opportunity to connect with people is super meaningful. And I think you're going to find that to be true as you continue to pursue this dream. And as it's in the infancy stages and it's going to be coming to fruition. And it's a pretty big dream, actually. I don't know if you caught that as she talked about all the areas and territories.
Yeah,
and it seems like it started as one small thing and it's taken on a life of its own, which often happens when we're on the right track.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that I predict, and maybe we'll talk in a year from now and see that you're going to have a huge impact in ways that you don't even realize. And that you may be thinking, well, I don't know if pickleball really matters. I say it does. I say it does matter a lot. I say that the connections that you're going to create, the opportunities for people to come together are very important.
Yeah.
And even as important as something else that you were, kind of measuring it against. And I think that that's the tricky thing with perspective, that we sometimes, like you might be sitting here thinking, oh, this isn't a very big thing, but I guarantee you, well, even I myself am sitting here thinking, no, it's actually a really big thing. And there's listeners that are like, that's amazing. That's a huge dream.
And it's also okay if it's not big.
But it's also okay if it's not big. But that's the tricky thing with our perspectives, right?
And comparing.
Because it's like, well, compared to what? Because it's actually, it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't get caught, listeners, in, thinking that you're not doing enough, or that what you're pursuing isn't going to be meaningful, or comparing it meaningful to X, Y, Z, because as long as you do exactly what you said, I loved your advice, but just listen and follow those promptings where they're taking you.
Yeah.
And do what is right in front of you. Like, seize that opportunity and go with it and trust it. Because I think as you do so, that is how we live our purpose. It doesn't happen in one big decision. It happens in lots of tiny, small ones over a long period of time.
And it doesn't mean it will be easy, but I think if there's some natural pushing you in that direction, it's like, okay, go with that. Like, what if? Let's go with it and see what if it does or becomes,
right?
Or provides.
And how exciting, sister, ladies, to think about just following those tiny bits of inspiration, those ideas that come, not even knowing where they go, but just like with an idea of wonder of where will this go, like what will happen, and just be excited about how you follow those things and trust that things will work out for your good and for the greater good, especially, I believe, when you're trying to serve, when you're doing it with the heart of, I want to help, I want to fulfill my purpose, I want to show up and do good things. I think when we put that heart into it and then trust that it will work out, that we can create such beautiful things that can serve the most people. And when we partner with God in that, there's just the possibilities.
Yes. Yep.
And especially backed with so many good values that you're doing with your family, the playing together, the taking time to spend, and the commitment to that together. You've learned so many great skills that I think as you share that and teach that to the broader community, we all benefit from it. So thank you. Thank you for your contribution.
Oh, thank you. And thanks for having me today.
You're so welcome. Thank you. It's so fun to share. And I hope that you have enjoyed this and learned something for yourself, or been inspired to dream and go after your dreams and realize a little bit more about your potential and what you can do if you'll just listen and follow and move into action. That's it. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And pretty sisters, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to share this with somebody who you thought of that came to mind that might benefit from hearing this, hearing about the possibilities that are very real and alive if we are just willing to take them. And please leave a review and be sure to follow so that you can always hear the latest episodes that are coming your way. And until next week, stay pretty. See you then.